Hello, trading is closed on January 15th, 2015. I'm Tennant. We're going to change the order around a little bit today, talk about the mejt system first, and then go over my calls from yesterday. There was a mejt target from January 6th of 1998. 88, it was satisfied yesterday, but it still served as a good support level in today's early trade. There was also a mejt target of 1997.13 from yesterday, and that printed, and so far there's been support under it in regular trading hours. During the day, mejt said this rally was a false move and prices would retrace, which they did. Later on, it said ultimately higher prices would print. It gave these targets. They printed and there was resistance over them. We have no new mejt targets for tomorrow. That forces me to review my last predictions and to look at other things. Well, my plan for today was to look at the open, and if we had a strong gap up, I thought it would likely go around to the top of this stilt and complete a diamond on stilts pattern, an inverted diamond on stilts pattern, since we only need half of a diamond. In fact, in futures, prices traded to 2027 futures, which is equivalent to about 2033 cash. So for someone playing the futures, that actually was pretty good. But we came nowhere near that price in regular trading hours, which is a bit suspicious. We'll talk more about that later. Instead, prices acted as if this was the origin of the left stilt, and this was the first test. First test usually holds. Let's look at some other things. We still have a buy signal from Tom DeMark on the 130-minute chart. We still have a support level from the TDST line. I said yesterday that this purple trend line ultimately would break, and it did. DeMark's work now says that if we are going to go lower, we should have a gap under today's low. And if we don't have a gap under today's low, the move down won't stick. To see if we are going to get a gap under today's low, let's look at some other things. Here is where I thought the origin of the stilt was. Here's where I thought it was, but it turned out to be here. And this was half a diamond. We saw this price in futures. We still have a stilt, and unless this low gets undercut, we have not just a half a diamond, but all of a diamond. That means, hard as it is to believe, we still have a chance for an inverted diamond on stilts formation. I don't know much about Elliott wave, and anyone who wants to risk any money based on my Elliott wave analysis is taking a big risk. But to me, this is an impulsive move down, and this is a correction. Corrections are supposed to have 3 waves, and I can't count 3 waves. I count 1 and 2. Also, we have an impulsive move down, which clearly counts as 3s and not 5s. There might be some other way to count it, but to me it implies it's wave B of an A, B, C, with C yet to be completed. Adding some credence to that, if this is wave B, A, B, C, and you set this at 100%, then that's at 61.8%, implying these waves are all related. If this is A and that's B, and we have C coming up, and A is equal to C, if that happens, the pattern targets 2060. That's kind of a stretch, but if wave C is only 61.8% of wave A, it has a target of 2033 cash, which is just the price we saw in futures in the overnight session. If this is wave A and that's B, I'd expect to see a wave C with 5 waves. So that's 1. That's 2, which retraces most of wave 1. It's not too hard to count 5 waves up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's not too hard to count 3s here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And it's not hard to see that as soon as the professionals left home and the amateurs were there to play all by themselves, we had a wall of selling down which undercut the day's lows. And when the futures market opened, we have sharply undercut this low as well. It's not the professionals who are doing all this selling. In fact, they're the ones who are going to have to be doing the buying. They don't win every time, but this is a perfect setup for a huge gap up and a rally to 2033. I realize the market's circling the drain. I realize, as always, I could be dead wrong, and if so, it should be clear from the open. But even though we dropped all day long, which is negative, starting out high and dropping all day long is negative, it's not negative unless we take out this low, and we have to take it out in regular trading hours. So at tomorrow's open, if we undercut this low and we gap down, I admit this whole analysis is wrong, but I think there's a good chance of a huge rally up at the open, and that's today's call.